You ever walk into a place thinking you'll be in and out in 5 minutes? Just do something as simple as pumping gas, only to walk right into a storm you didn't see coming. Yeah, that's what happened to Marlene Baker on a scorching Friday in June. She didn't roll up in some fancy car, no cameras, no entourage. Nothing flashy, just her dusty gray SUV. Tags half faded from the sun, pulling into a little station off Highway 63 in the Nevada desert. Looked like any other road trip stop. Just a woman trying to get to her daughter's graduation. But what she got instead was a straight-up lesson in what happens when arrogance meets karma fast. The moment she stepped out the car, still in her travel hoodie, shades pushed up on her head, Marlene noticed something off. There were customers all around, some gassing up, others going in for snacks, and yet, when she walked toward the pump to slide her card in, a voice snapped from the intercom. "I already told you, you can't pump gas here. This isn't a charity." At first, she thought maybe he was talking to someone else. Maybe a prank, maybe static. But when she looked up and saw the man behind the glass, scowling down at her like she was dirt on his boot, she knew. That wasn't a joke, that was personal. The guy's name was Todd Hensley, manager. White polo shirt stretched over his gut. Gold chain resting in his chest hair, name tag barely hanging on. And the way he looked at her, you'd think she'd kicked his dog. Marlene tried to keep it calm. "Sir, I just need enough gas to get to the next station. My light's been on for miles." But he leaned out the door, smirked like he'd been waiting for this moment all day, and said, "Next station's an hour out. You should have planned better. Ain't my problem." And that's when it clicked for her. This wasn't about gas. It wasn't about policy. It was about her. Marlene's hands were shaking, not out of fear, but that familiar cocktail of rage and restraint. The one you learn to swallow down when you've dealt with this kind of hate your whole life. She tried one more time. "You can't refuse me service for no reason." Todd didn't flinch. In fact, he walked straight up to her and said loud enough for half the station to hear, "I can refuse service to whoever I want, especially folks like you." Now, you'd think that would be the climax, right? The worst of it. Oh no, buckle up! Because what Todd didn't know, what made this whole story the most poetic piece of instant karma you'll ever hear, is that Marlene Baker wasn't just any customer. She wasn't just some lady trying to make it to a graduation. She was the founder and CEO of Solway Fuel Group, one of the biggest independent gas chains in the Western U.S., with over 700 locations. Including this one. Let me back up a sec. Marlene's 45, raised by her grandmother in a Detroit duplex. She started her first gas station at 25 after working 2 jobs and saving every cent. People laughed when she told them her plan to build a chain of stations run with dignity, where everyone got treated with respect, no matter what they looked like or where they came from. They're not laughing now. She built Solway Fuel from the ground up, working 16-hour days, pumping gas herself, scrubbing bathrooms, learning the ins and outs of supply chains, fuel margins, insurance nightmares. She faced rejection from banks, sabotage from competitors, even a supplier who flat out told her, "You're not the kind of person we do business with." She smiled through it all, made it her fuel. And now, she owns a billion-dollar company with over 10,000 employees, some of whom, apparently, never got the memo about who signs their paychecks. But that day, she wasn't in CEO mode. She was just mom, on her way to see her daughter, Natalie, walk the stage at Stanford, the first in their family to get an engineering degree. She'd promised Natalie nothing would make her miss it. And yet here she was, stranded at her own station, being treated like a criminal. Marlene looked around. Families were laughing, teenagers blasting music. One elderly black man had just been brushed off by Todd earlier too, told figure it out yourself when asking for help with the air machine. The man walked away with his shoulders slumped. No one said a word. Inside the store was a young Latina cashier named Rosa, maybe 22. Quiet, quick on her feet, but every time Todd barked something at her, She jumped. You could tell she was scared. And from the way she avoided eye contact, it was clear this wasn't the first time Todd had shown his true colors. Then came backup Todd's little partner in ignorance, a lanky, red-faced employee named Luke, who swaggered out the door like he was about to start a bar fight. She looks suspicious, Luke sneered, not even trying to be subtle. That's when Marlene heard a voice, soft, hesitant, from the next pump over. It was Dorothy Fields, 68 years old, retired librarian, sun visor on her head, holding the pump handle like a shield. Are you really not going to let her fill her car?" she asked. Todd whipped his head toward her. "Mind your business, lady, before I ban you too." And just like that, Marlene realized this wasn't just about her anymore. There were witnesses, people watching, phones out. A kid near the convenience store was already filming. And still, Todd doubled down. "This is private property. Get in your car and leave, or I'll call the sheriff." Marlene sighed, looked at her tank light, blinking furiously. One last time, she tried reason. "My car is nearly empty. I could be stranded out here. Please." Todd leaned in, real close, and hissed. "Sounds like a you problem. Maybe it'll teach people like you not to come where you're not wanted." That was it. No more chances, no more patience. Marlene stepped back, took a breath, and said 4 words that made Todd's face go pale. "This station is mine." He blinked. "What?" "I own Solway Fuel Group. I built this company from scratch. You've been denying service to your boss." Silence. Luke literally stumbled backward. Rosa covered her mouth. Customers started whispering. The air shifted. And right then, like a movie scene, 3 black SUVs pulled into the lot, her executive team, already en route after she sent a single text. Out stepped Marcus Lynn, head of operations, with a binder full of documents and an expression that said, "We're cleaning house." Alongside him, corporate counsel, HR, and yes, security. They walked right up to the counter, laid the ownership papers down, and announced for all to hear. "This location is the legal property of Solway Fuel Group. Miss Baker is the sole owner and chief executive officer." The look on Todd's face, priceless. He sputtered something about rights, tried to bluster. "You can't fire me. I'll sue. This is harassment." Marlene didn't flinch. "You had the right to treat customers with respect. You chose racism instead. Clean out your locker." Security stepped forward. Todd finally realized this was real. He pleaded, offered excuses, even threw Luke under the bus. He said it first. Too late. Luke escorted out. Todd escorted out, red in the face, muttering about how this country's gone soft. Even Rosa, when questioned, burst into tears. "I was scared. I didn't know what to do." Marlene just nodded. "Being scared is human. Staying silent in the face of hate, that's a choice." Rosa wiped her eyes. "I want to do better." "You'll have that chance," Marlene said quietly, "but it starts now." Before she left, Dorothy hugged her. Tyler, the college kid filming, showed her the video already going viral. 2 million views. "You just taught everyone a lesson," he said. Marlene smiled, slid into her car, finally filled up, and called her daughter. "Natalie, baby, I'm back on the road, and wait till you hear why I'm late. Because some days you're just a woman trying to get gas. And other days, you're the storm that clears the sky. Now let me ask you, what would you have done in Marlene's shoes? Dropped the truth on them early, or waited until the mask slipped? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk justice, power, and what happens when the right person owns the building. Hit that like button if you think karma came fast and hard, and subscribe if you want more stories where respect isn't optional.